In Indonesia, 2,000 citizens have agreed to take part in the next stage of a TB vaccine trial being carried out by the Bill Gates Foundation. And while cases of the disease have been steadily climbing in the country, there's growing concern that the experimental vaccine could do more harm than good, given the foundation's checkered record. RG's Rebecca Napitupulu picks up the story from here.
First, India and Africa. Now, Indonesia has become the West's latest testing ground for a new tuberculosis vaccine developed by the notorious Gates Foundation. As the Indonesian government doubled down on its fight against the disease, Bill Gates conveniently visited the country, supposedly to talk about President Prabowo's free meal program. But his vaccine ambitions have taken center stage. Local officials see a big opportunity, to put it mildly, but the Gates Foundation's questionable reputation has not helped put the public's mind at ease.
It all started when the former deputy of the presidential chief of staff made a post on X commenting on how cheap it was to buy the Indonesian people. This has left users wondering where they were in fact being used as guinea pigs.
Screening people to be forced to become TB vaccine guinea pigs. Why don't other countries want their people to be used as guinea pigs? Only poor countries are targeted?
Indonesia became a vaccine testing ground, and its people were used as guinea pigs. It's sad.
Before they came to power, they pounded the table to fight foreigners, fiery speeches, claiming not to be a lackey of other nations. But now suddenly, Indonesia wants to be used as a guinea pig for a TB vaccine made by Bill Gates.
Earlier, we had a chance to speak to the former Indonesian health minister who shared similar concerns.
It's pure business. Bill Gates took the opportunity when he saw that research in Indonesia was stagnating. No one wanted to fund it, so Gates took it. But Gates is a person who doesn't want to lose money, so he had to find a big market, and he looked to Indonesia. Now he is pretending to donate. How much is the donation? $159 million. But later on, he will get hundreds of millions of dollars from selling the vaccines to us.
However, current health officials have defended the Gates jab, saying it's based on very scientific research and confirming that the ministry is closely monitoring the trials together with the World Health Organization. President Prabowo went so far as to say the new vaccine will save lives.
Bill Gates is developing a tuberculosis vaccine for the world. Indonesia will be one of the places that will be trialed, and we have to recognize that tuberculosis is taking a huge toll on us. Almost 100,000 die every year, and it's our determination to bring that down.
Tuberculosis has long been an acute issue for the country. Since 2020, Indonesia has seen a dramatic increase in the number of cases, now reaching more than 1 million, with 125,000 deaths each year, this according to the country's health ministry.
Indonesia is now conducting phase 3 of the vaccine's clinical trial, which is supported by the Gates Foundation. But the vital question lingering in people's mind is, what safeguards are in place?
Before being administered to humans, the substance had been tested on animals. After being considered safe, the testing proceeded to the first phase of trials on humans, involving a small group of 20 to 50 participants. The next trial phase involves a larger group of up to 300 participants. The third and final phase of the clinical trial, which will involve tens of thousands of participants from multiple countries including Indonesia, will kick off after the substance is declared safe in the previous stages.
While the Indonesian government insists that the Gates TB vaccine candidates passed all safety checks in earlier phases, the Indonesian public is concerned by the ethics and health risks of the mass testing.
Who would say it's not a guinea pig? If it's a test subject, that's the academic term for a participant. But the layman's term is guinea pig. You can't say human trials, human clinical trials. You can't. The safety has not been proven. The vaccine is not necessarily suitable for Indonesia. The vaccine was taken from an African vaccine.
So, is the Gates Foundation actually looking to help, or is the US billionaire experimenting with human lives to fill his pockets? Well, let's take a look at his track record. Just recently, Gates opened up a lab in Singapore. And whether it is a coincidence or not, the country soon made vaccination obligatory with a 6-month jail sentence for failure to comply. And another case, Haiti. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation allegedly supported a cholera vaccination campaign in the country under questionable circumstances. Critics argued that cholera had already been in decline in Haiti by the time this was announced. Several EU lawmakers even questioned whether Haitians were properly informed about the foundation's vaccination policies and would anyone actually benefit from them. As of now, Bill Gates has donated a total of $159 million to Indonesia, including $119 million for health. He may be praising Indonesia's contribution to the fight against tuberculosis.
Indonesia's leadership on health, both in Southeast Asia and globally, is impressive, and we're proud to be a long-term partner. From biopharma's role in regional vaccine manufacturing to Indonesia's investments in digital public infrastructure and financial inclusion, the country is showing how innovation can expand opportunity and improve lives.
But we all know what's really on his mind. He was more honest when it came to the failure of his clinical trial for the HPV vaccine in India about a decade ago.
It's kind of a laboratory to try things that then, once you prove them out in India, you can take to other places.
While the promise of scientific innovation is vital for Indonesia in the fight against TB, the controversy surrounding the foundation's vaccine campaigns serve as a sobering reminder. With tens of thousands of lives potentially impacted, the country cannot afford to become just another Gates lab. Rebecca Napitupulu reporting from Jakarta for RT.